Hello, my beautiful fragrance family. Dustin here, fragrance fan. Go ahead and do me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification. And I'm just going to keep on giving you guys these budget-friendly fragrances. Use that $40-ish and under range. Most of these are way less than that. And a good number of these you can find at your local rack stores. And judging by the thumbnail, you can probably tell that I'm talking about the Cremo fragrances. I don't have all of them, but I do have a good chunk of them. And I felt like I should just kind of do like a roundabout buying guide on these things because you see them all the time, not at the rack stores, but at your local Walmart. They pop up in CVS. They're all way under $40. And whether or not these are something that are worth the $20 or so that you're going to spend on these at the recording of this in May of 2024, or if you can just pass on them. Some of them I seen, actually no, I did see some of them at the local rack stores for like $12, $13. So I misspoke when I said they don't pop up in the rack stores because some of these actually did, but I already had them, so I didn't. So as I often do in these videos, no particular order, just dive right into these things and give a quick overview of my personal opinion on these without being swayed by anybody else. And let's just start with the one that got me onto Cremo, the first one that I picked up, and the one that received a lot of hype when it first came out, and that is Cremo's Spice and Black Vanilla. I like this. All these Cremo bottles look the same, but I like that, not engraving, but raised kind of lettering on the side and the front. It's clean. It's easy and clean, but that side, it just does it for me. I think that's super cool looking. But anyhow, if you know me at all, you can judge how much I like a fragrance by the dent that's put in the thing, right? And it's a cool weather fragrance, so it's quite limited because it is spicy. It has like a tobacco kind of feel going on. A little bit airy and somehow, in a weird way, a bit like juicy almost in a way, but it's not juicy, but it's like, I don't know, it's almost got like a bit of like an aquatic note with this spicy vanilla tobacco going on. I mean, that all that other stuff I was talking about, like the aquatic type thing, it's like way in the background, but just me, I kind of picked that up. And it gives this thing a bit of a sparkle to me. And a lot of people compare this to Viktor and Rolf's Spice Bomb Extreme, and they would be 100% correct because it does smell very, very similar to it, except to me it's not quite as bright and sparkly, and it's like the spices in Viktor and Rolf is a little more natural, but for like the $80 more or $60 more that you're going to spend on that, I mean, this thing will do the trick. I guess people are saying that these older bottles were like an 8 to 10, maybe beast mode kind of fragrance, whereas this one is not bad, but it's not like a beast mode. It is a 5 to 6 hour fragrance, so it performs solid. And I was wearing this thing in the cooler weather and a lot, obviously. And you'll find this thing for $20. And it punches way, way, way harder than a $20 fragrance. In my opinion, this is one of my best $20 fragrances that I have. If you just put like a block on $20 and under, top 5, top 10 definitely, but top 5, this one just might make it in that list. Definitely top 10 for $20. I mean, this thing is fantastic. It's a cozy date night, huggable, like cuddle by the fireplace kind of a thing. This is just a cozy, warm, inviting, soothing fragrance. It really is that wonderful smelling. I haven't met one person that doesn't like the way that this thing smells. So you see this one, definitely worth picking up if you haven't seen it. And they usually get the testers right there. You can spray the things and see for yourself. But it's a cool weather fragrance. But man, I find excuses to wear this thing. There's no doubt about that. And up next, one that kind of gets a very divided opinion on, and I can see why 100%. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people are like, take it or leave it. And that is Hemp and Golden Amber. This one, I got it on my hand because I wanted to revisit this thing because it is kind of weird. The hemp is real sharp. It's got a sharpness. There's like a ginger thing going on in here, and it's a little bit spicy. It's like a spicy ginger with the hemp, and like the golden amber is like sticky almost, but that doesn't pop out until after the dry down. The opening is quite like nice. It's almost like a citrusy vibe in the opening. It's a little bit refreshing with just a touch of that sweetness. But when it starts drying down, it's like you're left with just like the tartness of the hemp and the sticky sweetness of the amber, and it kind of clashes in my opinion. So if it was the opening, this thing would be like a 6 out of 10, but since it dries down and that kind of like that mucky weirdness, it's like a 4 out of 10. So like it doesn't stink in my opinion. I can see some people loving this thing, I can see some people hating this thing. I'm a take it or leave it kind of guy. It doesn't stink. 4 out of 10 doesn't mean that it stinks. It's just, it's not all that good. Now it is unique, there's no doubt about that. And again, like I said, it doesn't smell bad, but I mean, I wouldn't just blind buy this thing. Use a tester. If you see one, spray it. Don't buy it based on the opening, because the opening's quite nice. Shop around for like, give it 20 or 30 solid minutes, and then make your decision on that. It's a 4 to 5 hour fragrance. It's not loud. It's, at first it seems like it's going to be very loud, but it dies back quite quickly to the tart sweetness going on, and then it disappears kind of quickly after that. So after the 4 or 5 hour mark, it just vanishes altogether. So yeah, hemp and golden amber, not one that you got to run out and buy. And like I said, divided. And oh, it's more of a cool weather fragrance too, because of how sweet and sticky it is. It's not a warm weather fragrance. Up next, we will go with Saltwater and Cypress. A lot of these I'm going to be spraying because I want to revisit these things. Decent atomizer on all these. So this one is uplifting. It's refreshing. It's in the same ballpark. It doesn't smell like it, but it's in the same ballpark as Acqua di Gio, like Profundo, Profumo, regular Acqua di Gio. It's that kind of a salty, crispy, citrus kind of a fragrance, and the cypress in there just adds just enough like wood and a little bit of a sharpness in there. But these are all simple fragrances, and this is a great little summertime fragrance. You don't need to necessarily run out and grab it and buy it. This is good for the gym. It's good for like running errands. Again, it's great for the high heat. Anybody can enjoy this. It's incredibly inoffensive. It's not groundbreaking, but this is a decent smelling fragrance. And if you're just like itching to buy a fragrance or whatever, and like it's the $20 is burning a hole in your pocket, and it's summertime now and you want a nice little freshie, this one will do the trick. You know, go ahead and get this one. It's crisp. Performance isn't the best on this. It's perfect for the gym. Like I said, it's like a 3.5, 4 hour fragrance. So it's not that strong. The projection isn't all that good, but yeah, it'll work on your way to the gym while you're in there getting your pump on, and then it's radiating off you a little bit. And by the time you get home, it'll wash off pretty easy. So yeah, this one is a check in the box for me. I enjoy this one a lot. Up next, the one that kind of started my fragrance channel altogether, because I used to watch the YouTubes and stuff like that, see what people thought about things before I ended up buying it, especially the Cremo, right? Everybody knows Cremo, and this particular one, there was absolutely nothing on it. Not a single thing. Nothing anywhere. There is a couple of videos now, but when I purchased it, there was, and I was like, man, like, someone needs to be talking about some of these things, and that's Cremo's Heritage Red. I think it was called Spiced Amber also in the box. And I knew Spice and Black Vanilla. Yeah, it was Spiced Amber. And so I figured, you know what? Why not roll the dice on this one? And I have the dry down on my hand here. And I remember when I was walking outside of Walmart, I was by the bus stop there. And I was like, I can't wait to get my hands on this thing. And I'm opening it up and I spray it on me. And like about 2 minutes later, a family walks by, like a husband and wife, and the wife stopped by and she like looked over at like me. There's a couple other people. She's like, "Who's wearing that? Whoever's wearing that smells good. Whatever you're wearing." And that was this one. And it's playful. It's sweet. It's bubblegummy. It's a little bit fresh up top. Somebody said that this is your typical like fresh fragrance or something. There's nothing like fresh about this. This ain't for the high heat. It's not for the gym. It's not. No. Yeah, definitely not. It would be super cloying. It's almost got like a smooth aspect, like a piece of like suede or something in there, but I don't think that that's a note that's listed in here. But it definitely is a little bit spicy, like maybe perhaps some clove. Let me get the opening on this thing one more again. It's got a little bit of fresh spiciness in there, along with like, I feel like there's like clove or something, like fresh spiciness, clove, and that amber, like crystallized amber is in this thing. So it's playful, it's sweet, got kind of a bubblegummy type of a feel, and the performance isn't as good as I thought it would be. It's a definitely cold weather fragrance, but it's only like 4.5 hours, 5 hours. So, I mean, it smells good, but it's not necessarily one that you have to run out and get. I'll just say that. But it is a decent smelling fragrance. It's like a 5 out of 10. I think I liked it more at first, but the more I smell it and stuff like that, it's good. But it's a 5 out of 10. So yeah, if you just want like an errand running fragrance and you don't want to squirt your Azzaro Wanted or something on, then just go ahead and grab that one. It'll do the job. Up next, unique fragrance, iced citron and driftwood. Duh. Iced citron and driftwood. This one here, man, it's got this woodiness. It's almost like a bit of a smoky woodiness with that citron, aquatic citron, and a touch of smoky woods in this thing. And there's a hint of spice. It's sharp, but not offensive. It's like right on the border of punching your nostrils, but it doesn't. It's like it stops right before it gets to that spot that is like too sharp. And like I said, it's almost a little salty too at the same time. So salty, aquatic, citrus, smoky woods. Average performance. Average projection, nice fragrance. This thing could almost be signature scent worthy. It's nice. It's different, totally different than most fragrances. Super simple. Like I said, it's just aquatic, citrus, salty, kind of a smoky kind of wood, smoky driftwood. I don't know where the smoke is coming from. That's just what I get. Just a hint of it, just a little bit of it. But yeah, still not one that you have to run out and buy, but it's almost on that level. So it's like a 6 out of 10 kind of a fragrance. So it's a good one. Another freshie, blue cedar and cypress. Revisit this thing. This thing really is a very woody fragrance. Very woody. Oh yeah. Super woody. Citrusy and woody. If you want a woody fragrance, if you like woody fragrances, and it's the summertime, right? So like a lot of times super woody fragrances aren't good for the summertime, but this one is great for the summertime. And it is very masculine, very woody, very different. This one is another one that's right there on the cusp of needing to just like run out and get it. It's like a 6 or a 6.5, I would say. This thing is nice, different. Performance is like 5.5 hours. Projection is right at average. So this is a strong average. It's not above average, but it's a strong average performing fragrance. This one is, if like you wear this in the office or something, it's signature scent worthy for sure. Because, man, I can't stop smelling it. Yes, with that green cypress and blue cedar. I don't know. It's so different, but it's nice. I like a nice woody fragrance, especially one that's fresh. This thing, they somehow made this fresh. It's like it's got like a citrus touch to it. You might want to check this one out, perhaps, especially if you want a woody fragrance. Check that one out. Up next is Sandalwood and Suede, which is exactly that creamy sandalwood. The suede is a very silky suede in here, and there's a pretty loud fig note in this, fig leaf. Like, yeah, it bears a lot of resemblance to Sean John 3AM without being as, like Sean John 3AM has like tonic water and stuff like that. This isn't sparkly, this is silky. So you got that smooth suede just hanging on there the entire time that this thing is in the air. The sandalwood isn't that loud. Some people say that they get more of the sandalwood than anything. To me, I get more of the suede, then the fig leaf, then the sandalwood. That's what I get the most in this. It's pretty universal for most of the times of year, except I just don't think it's going to be great for the summer, for the high heat. It's nice fragrance. Again, this isn't another run out and buy, but this one doesn't smell bad either. So if you're noticing a trend, most of these are decent smelling. They're not gems. So far the only gem I talked about was this one. This is a run out and buy. The blue cedar and cypress was almost there, and this one is on par with most of the others. It's decent. It's a good smelling fragrance. Very soft projection. Very soft. Almost like you got to like spray away with this thing. That's a problem because this isn't a summer fragrance. So you spray away with this thing, and the performance isn't all that great. It's like a 4-hour fragrance too. So I mean, it's a 5 out of 10 because of that. The scent profile is around a 6, but because of the performance, I would drop this one down to a 5 out of 10. And up next, my most recent pickup, and it was a little more than $20. It was $24. Found it at CVS, but I've been wanting to get my nose in this thing because I had the body wash, and I really enjoyed the body wash. And I'm talking about Distiller's Blend. This thing I had kind of an idea what I was going to get into because of the body wash, but the difference about this one between the body washes, the body wash smelled like a burnt whiskey barrel. It was nice. I really liked it. Incredibly masculine, but quite pleasing. This one has that, along with like a citrusy feel. I feel like on everything that I've looked at, I cannot find citrus. It's just simply like whiskey and oak and birch or something. Like that's like the notes everywhere. But to me, there is definitely a citrusy vibe in this burnt whiskey barrel citrus smelling thing. That's what I get. And if you see this one, I say this is a run out and buy. It's a 7 out of 10. Once you hit 7 out of 10, you're looking at some good stuff. And the projection, the performance on this one is it's right at average, maybe a soft average. It's like 4.5 to 5 hours. Even over spraying on this thing, you're not really gonna. It doesn't really add too much longevity to it like some fragrances. But the smell on this thing is great. The quality on it is really nice smelling too. Like I can almost smell like that whiskey on the rocks. Like when I smell this thing, like I feel like it's like I can smell the glass, the whiskey on the rocks, and it's like getting, like I keep saying, like a whiskey barrel that's like burnt or something, and smelling that. And the burnt, the smokiness is probably coming from that birch, because birch can be quite smoky smelling. But I get citrus vibes in this thing. I don't care what anybody says. So, but also, it's a great smelling fragrance. So that's a quick summary of the Cremo fragrances that I have. I've been meaning to put this video out, I just haven't yet, so it's out there now. So yeah, that's the House of Cremo, or at least what I have in this house, and my final thoughts on that. So with that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Take care of yourself always, and until next time.